Hey everybody, Erica Serwin here from Pink Buckaroo Designs, and I have this really cute little Matchbox Ghirardelli holder. It features the adorable little Mrs. Claus from Signs of Santa, and we're going to color her in with Stampin' Blends. She's very cute. Now, this project is originally done on Facebook Friday, so you'll find this page, the link to this down in the comments. It has all the measurements here that you'll need. There's lots of measurements as well as the product information. So make sure you click over there to go get all the specifics. All right, now I do want to first say that this project is based on a swap I got from Sue Dias. Here it is, so cute at On Stage. Sue gave me this and I loved it so much that I had to make my own. And there's something special inside. You can see we don't just staple in the little treat. There's a little pocket that it slides in and out of. Isn't that adorable? So that's what we're going to make. The first thing you're going to need is your cherry cobbler cardstock that measures 2 3/4 by 7, and you're going to score at 3, 3.5, and 6.5. Now make sure you go over and get that PDF because it's right there on the page. You're also going to need a piece of DSP that is 2.5 by 5 3/4. This is the Dashing Along Designer Series paper, and we're going to score it at 2 1/4, 2.5, 2 3/4, 5, 5 1/4, and 5.5. There we go. All right, be careful when you push down, not to push down too hard that you'll rip that paper. Here's the Dashing Along DSP. It is online only. You won't find it in any of the catalogs. Stampin' Up! Had it as a host special in September, and they've brought it back in November, and we can buy it. It has 3 different designs of double-sided, pretty thick cardstock or designer paper. So check it out online. Now you want to accordion fold those little score lines that we made on the DSP. The very last one's going to leave a 1/4 inch tab there for you to put your adhesive on. I'm using Fast Fuse. You could also use tear and tape. So accordion fold those so that you have a pocket and press that down into the other side. And there you go. You have 2 kind of folded sides, but you can see that the bottom and the top are both open. Now get your cherry cobbler piece, and down at the bottom you've got this smaller tab here. This is where we're going to put our little pocket. So fold it up and slide this down. Make sure that you push it all the way down to the bottom so that when you staple close to the bottom, this will still have room to slide in. If you staple too high, then the top will not slide into the tab. All right, so push it down, grab your stapler, and staple. And there you have the basic design. See how perfect this little peppermint Ghirardelli fits? I love these. All right, so close it up and let's decorate the front. Now I'm going to stamp Mrs. Claus on thick Whisper White with my Memento Black. I use Memento Black whenever I'm coloring with my blends. And I'm using thick Whisper White because I feel like the blends stay where they need to be a little bit better on the thicker cardstock. I'm going to color her with cherry cobbler since our cardstock and paper are cherry cobbler. And I'm going to start with my light cherry cobbler Stampin' Blend. And I'm going to work my way around just using the bullet tip point on this light cherry cobbler blend. When you're using your blends, you want to go in small areas first. Because the ink dries pretty fast. So she's pretty small, so I'm going to do her dress, and then I'm going to come back with a darker cherry cobbler to add a little bit of shadow. But let me just fill in here the rest of her dress, and I'm going to leave that open because I'm going to come back and use it. Now here's the dark, and I'm going to create a little shadow underneath her apron. That's where we would see a shadow where something overlaps, as well as here with a little tie on the side. And then I'm going to do a little bit under her neck and over here too. Now, those are the shadows that we're going to see. I'm going to take, so that it's not so distinct, I'm going to take my light cherry cobbler blend and blend that dark color back out into the lighter color that was there at the beginning. Isn't that beautiful? Just creates a little bit of dimension on your cute little picture of Mrs. Claus. Color in that little red heart. I used the dark cherry cobbler for that. Now, let's color her face. This is the Ivory Stampin' Blend. I'm going to do her hands. Don't forget her little tiny hands, and her ears and her face. I'm going to go all the way around. Be careful with her little glasses. Don't color over those glasses. I did that the first time I colored her. They're so tiny, it probably wouldn't make a difference even if you did. But go around them and color her all the way in with this ivory, making sure you fill in all those spots. The Stampin' Blends just make this so easy. All right, next I'm going to add a few little cheeks, little rosy cheeks with my Petal Pink Light. Actually, I think that's Petal Pink Dark. And then it's time to give her some gray hair. I'm going to start with my light smoky slate Stampin' Right marker, color it all in, even her cute little bun. Fill it all in, and then we're going to add a few streaks in there with that darker smoky slate. The image is already divided for us to kind of show us where we would need to add in the different colors. So I'm just kind of going every other little segment with the darker color there. All right, the last thing is the little holly there that she has on her bun. So I'm going to use Old Olive Dark and then come back with my cherry cobbler and just those tiny little berries. There we go. All right, now the framelits that go with the Signs of Santa sold out really quickly, unfortunately. However, we can just fussy cut her. I'm just going to take my little paper snips, and I'm going to start, make sure you have cut off a lot of the excess. If you're trying to use a giant sheet of cardstock, it's going to make it harder. So cut her down, and then as you're going, cut off little pieces. See how I just kind of toss that little corner to the side? That'll help your hand move around. And notice how my left hand is rotating the paper. I'm leaving my scissors where they are, and I'm leaving a little white cloud around the outside of her. Your eye will only see that black line. It's not going to see the white, little white cloud around the edge of her. So when someone is looking at your project, they're not going to see if you make a jaggedy cut line, especially with her because we are going to mount her on Whisper White cardstock. So it's really going to blend in and not be able to be seen. All right, I have cut out a Whisper White stitched square using the third largest stitched square framelit. That's the one below the biggest one. And I'm actually going to emboss it with this really cute Swirls and Curls embossing folder. And I want the pattern to, in this one, because the pattern is pretty much the same all around, it doesn't really matter which side you put face down, but I want it to be debossed, which means the little images, the little swirls there will kind of be recessed in the paper on the front of that stitched square. So I put it face down there, and I'm going to run it through, and let's take a look at it. The Swirls and Curls embossing folder is in the holiday catalog, and it's very popular. See how we've got the little recessed on that side and the popped up on that side. So I'm going to use my Wink of Stella to add a little bit of shimmer there to the recessed parts of that little image. It's so beautiful, but I just wanted to add a little more whimsy to our Mrs. Claus project. So the Wink of Stella is a kind of a paintbrush with glitter. It keeps it all contained right there for you, and it dries very, very quickly. All right, let's put this on a Whisper White scallop square that's just a tiny bit bigger. That is cut with the layering square framelits. And then we'll grab Mrs. Claus and put some dimensionals on the back of her and add her right there on the top of the Swirls and Curls embossed piece. Isn't she so cute? All right, now again with some dimensionals, we're going to put her on the front of our Matchbox. I like to add lots of dimension to my projects, never enough dimensionals. There we go, so cute. Now we're going to cover up that little staple with a Whisper White cotton ribbon bow. I'm just going to tie a bow and then add it with a glue dot just to cover up that staple. I don't want to see the staple. There's really no way of getting around it, but we can cover it up with a white bow. All right, now the inside I felt like we needed just a little something. So I've cut this adorable little label from the Stitched Label Framelits. And I'm going to stamp the to and from, which are in the Signs of Santa stamp set. I love when a stamp set comes with to and from because we could use those all the time, right? I'm going to stamp them in Memento Black. And then, of course, I would write my name, the recipient's name, and I would put it right here on the little pocket with, again, another dimensional. And then we just slide it closed like a little matchbook. Isn't she so adorable? I can't wait to give these out this year at Christmas. And you could really adapt this to any season, changing the paper and stamps. Ghirardelli chocolates are out all the time. Make sure you hop over and grab that link and let me know if you have any questions about either of these little cute projects. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.